Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Conversation Unboxed with Dami. And I'm actually driving right now. I'm on my way out. I'm actually going to learn swimming. I've been learning how to swim. I never knew how to swim. Like all my time in Nigeria, I never learned how to swim. I've been here for so many years as well. Never learned how to swim. so I and I've been going to a lot of like pool events, going to the beach with friends, and it just sucks that I never learned how to swim. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and say, you know what, I would actually learn how to swim. And that's what I'm currently doing. I'm currently learning how to swim. It's been fun so far, and I'm enjoying being in the water. I'm off the floaters. I can float by myself. I can go back and forth. But I think I'm learning how to I'm learning better breath control in the water right now, so I can swim for like long distances and all. So, but it's been fun. Outside of that, I know you guys have been engaging with the previous videos, the Japa interviews I've been doing. Thank you guys for engaging with that. And I just thought about like, why don't I share my own experience? Why don't I share, answer some of the questions that I asked these other folks? And so here I am trying to answer some of those questions. One of the questions I asked was like, what inspired their move out of Nigeria or their country? For me, I would say what really inspired me to move out of Nigeria, I would say would be, I have family here. I have, my siblings in the outside of Nigeria right from, a very long time, even before I dreamt of moving, right? So being able to like be close to my family, to my brother, my sister, was one motivating factor for me. Like I really wanted to leave so bad and be with them. And I would say honestly another reason, because I came here for my master's, would be to get my master's degree done, to get more qualification, more educated in a more prestigious university abroad. And I would say another reason is just for the improvement of my life, my standard of living. Do something better for myself outside the confines of my environment back then, which was in Nigeria, was really a driving factor for me, honestly. And it's been good so far. It's just been good. I'm happy I made that move, honestly. How did I prepare for my move financially, emotionally, or like logistically? Financially, I wouldn't say it was the easiest because we all know like traveling and applying to schools and all these things. It wasn't the easiest, I would say. How did I prepare for it? I guess it took me a long time though for my own process, and it just took a little bit of saving, and also for me, for the financial part wasn't so much because I was able to like get financial assistance. I knew that like I wouldn't be able to pay for like my school fees. I came here as a student, um, so I knew I could not pay for the school fees. There was no way I would be paying $6,000 out of pocket before I pay for rent, pay every other bill, phone bill, and all these things. I could not afford it, if I'm very honest. Yeah. So one thing that I targeted was making sure that I got a graduate assistantship. I made sure I got a graduate assistantship, which basically pays my tuition and also gives me a stipend monthly, and which I was able to then use that to pay for my rent, my other utilities, and other bills that I had. So one advice I'll give people is that make sure that you get a GA or an RA. Even though I still had like maybe $1,000 to pay for my school fees, it was still way better than having to pay like $6,000 by myself. And I was getting paid 1,000 monthly. I would say about $1,000 monthly. So I was able to save that, use that to pay rent and all this thing. I also save part of it to what else? I saved part of it to pay the remaining balance of my school fees, which was less than $1,000 if I remember correctly. Um, I actually also saved that money. I struggled, so I had to save part of that money to purchase my first car in the United States. It wasn't the best car. Don't ask me what type of car or what was wrong with it. It wasn't the best, but I saved my money to make sure I was able to do that. So I'm happy for that. Yeah. What was the biggest challenge that I faced during the immigration interview? Honestly, I didn't face any challenge. I did not face any challenge. I guess before I went for my F1 visa interview, I already previously went for a B1 B2 visa interview and I got it. I came to the United States and I went back to Nigeria and I went ahead to apply. So at the time that I was applying for my F1 visa, I kind of had what's it called? I had a visa and I had a valid visa, B1, B2, which was a visitor's visa on my passport. So it was easy. Even though I wasn't approved on the spot, the approval came like the second or third day. I was under administrative processing for no reason. But the visa came like the second or third day, I guess. Yeah, and I was able to get it. So it was pretty easy. And yeah, that's what I would say. How did I secure a job or admission to a school before or after migrating? So securing, it was a lot of online research. I'm not gonna lie. I was just on Google searching schools, and I knew I wanted to come to. I'm not gonna mention the state I'm in. So for those who know, you know. Those who don't, but I knew a specific state that I really wanted to be in so bad. It's like no matter what, I really wanted to be in this state. So all I did was Google all the schools in the states, and I kind of started applying to them one after the other. Some I couldn't apply to, some I couldn't apply to, but some I could apply to. So I applied to a bunch of schools. It was Google search, honestly. That's what I was able to do. And I think there's a second part to that question about, I don't think the other people I interviewed really like got into like answering that part. It's like, how did you secure a job when you got a school and outside of school? For me, like I said, I didn't leave Nigeria. I was not going to leave Nigeria until I was able to like secure assistantship to be able to pay my school fees, because I was not going to pay my school fees myself. I don't have the money to pay myself. So it was very like important for me to be able to do that. So the job I had in school then that was giving me a stipend every month and paying my tuition was a teaching assistant job. So I had my own class. I had 2 or 3 classes that I was teaching. I was responsible for those classes, teaching, giving assignments, grading, exams, everything. I was responsible for the class with very little supervision. So that's how I was able to get a job. Normally, international students would get about 20 hours of work per week. Per week, yeah, 20 hours per week. I think that's what international student gets. Yeah, I would say. Yep. So, how did I secure a job after I graduated? So, when you graduate school in the United States, you get what you call OPT. You either get a regular OPT or you get a STEM OPT. With regular OPT is for 1 year, which everybody gets, and those who qualify for STEM OPT get an extra 2 years. So with OPT, I was able to. It was not easy. Trust me. Once they see that you just have OPT, you don't have like your green card. It's a lot difficult. It's a lot challenging. But yeah, I through my OPT, I applied for a lot of jobs. I was able to get a job. I would say honestly, full vulnerability. Yeah, my first job that I applied for, I didn't make a dime for like months because it was commission based, and I didn't make any money. But I kept doing it because I needed to secure my like OPT or whatnot. Like it wasn't the easiest job for me financially at the time, but I did it regardless. Um, what else did I ask? I'm looking at the questions over here on my phone. Have you faced any discrimination or biases as an immigrant? Have I faced any discrimination? Oh, honestly, um, I don't think so. It might have been subtle. I wouldn't say I don't think so. Subtle here and there. Nothing to make me really angry or really mad or like get mad at somebody, cuss out somebody. No. But it's subtle, I would say. How easy or difficult was it for me to integrate into the society? It was very easy, honestly. I think because of the community that I came into when I landed in the United States. First of all, I had family. Secondly, the school that I went to had a huge Nigerian community, huge African community. So it was very easy. Immediately I made friends. Immediately I had friends. My roommates were Nigerians, so it was very easy. And I think from watching the movies and all these things, you kind of just get the hang of a lot of things. Honestly, it wasn't so hard, but I would say it is important to have that community, community, because they would also help in like making sure like that integration becomes easy. I would say. So it is important to have that community, I would say. The cost of living compared to how did the cost of living compare to what I expected? Phew, it was different. I would say, first off, a lot of people try to convert. I was converting to Naira for, the first couple of months because it didn't make sense that what I would buy for like cheap. Back then, nothing's expensive right now in Nigeria. But back then when I came, it was still, you know, not the best, sorry. Um, it wasn't the best, but it was still fair. Way back then, it was still good, right? So I used to convert a lot, and I didn't understand why we had to pay rent every month when we paid rent in Nigeria once a year. It just felt like a huge scam to me. Um, the cost of living, where you have to pay electricity every month, your phone bill every month, is not pay as you go. This you pay every month. It's a subscription based system. You pay subscription for everything. It's not pay as you go on your phone in Nigeria. So even though I'm not making phone calls, I still got to pay my phone bills every month. That didn't make sense to me at first. Um, the prices of clothes and all these things. I'm like, when I advise people that are trying to come to the students that are trying to come or people trying to relocate, I'm like, bring as much as you can bring in terms of like clothes and all these little things. Bring as much as you can bring from Nigeria initially, because if you're thinking you're gonna come buy all those things, yeah, it might be a little bit of a shocker. You'll be like, oh, I wish I had bought all these things in Nigeria before I came here. Things like food, bring the little you can bring. I would say food you can get a lot of here. I wouldn't necessarily bring, like, when people bring palm oil, I'm like, you don't need to bring palm oil. When people bring gari rice, you don't need to bring those things. Can you bring your Nigerian Maggi? That's lightweight. You can bring it. Can you bring like this jollof mix I see people buy now and do? Yeah, maybe things that you might not really see. I'll, few things. Honestly, don't bring 2 bars of yam. You'll find yam here, and you would find different options to yam. Honestly, I eat a lot of potatoes right now. Korean potatoes, actually. That's what I do love currently. Um, I've replaced it with yam for a very long time. Potatoes, I've replaced it with yam. Normally in Nigeria, previously, I wouldn't eat a lot of yam, but now I wouldn't eat like a lot of potatoes. Rather, I'll eat yam. But now I've replaced potatoes with yam, and I'm okay. I'm doing fine. But yeah, I don't know if I'm answering the question, but I think the cost of living. Yeah, so I would say come prepared. Honestly, come prepared with a couple of months worth of rent. A couple of dollars in your pocket would help the adjustments in terms of that the cost of living here, because it's a lot different from kind of like what a lot of people might be used to. Back at home. Looking back, do I think migrating was the right decision? Why or why not? Oh, migrating was the best decision that I ever made for myself. If I'm very honest, migrating, leaving Nigeria, coming to the United States was the best decision because my life has changed. I mean, I cannot really say what my life would look like if I was still living in Nigeria, to be fair, but I do know that a lot changed in my life. I never, full vulnerability again. I never had the opportunity to purchase a car by myself when I was in Nigeria. I was working, but I couldn't just save enough. I didn't have enough money to say I want to purchase a car with my own money, by myself. I used to drive my mom's car then, I remember. But I was able to do it like within a couple of months. Um, yeah, I think within 6 months or less, I was able to like purchase my very first car, which was I'm now gonna say what the car is. It was a Kia Forte, I believe is what it's called. I bought it for $1,800. The engine was nothing to write on my. It was working fine, but the engine was making this kind of noise that I don't even know how to describe. But it worked fine for me. I used it to travel a lot, regardless of whatever the sound. But even though it wasn't the best car at the time, I was able to save up money to buy it, which I was unable to do back home because I didn't just have the opportunity. So I would say, and since then it's always been like up and up and up and up for me. So I would say yes, it was the best decision of my life, if I'm very honest. What do I wish I'd known before I moved to the United States? What do I wish I had known? Like I said, I came here previously on holiday, and I kind of knew some few things. Let me think deeply. What do I wish I had known before I left, or before I moved to the United States? I would say how lonely it can be, how your neighbors don't even care about you that much. It's an individualistic society, community, where you might live in a community or a street for a year, 2 years, and your neighbors don't know you. You don't know your neighbor. You all see each other, but you all don't talk to each other. You all just walk past each other. The most, for some neighbors who are just nice as they wave at you, you wave back at them. Some neighbors are nice, you guys become friends, but I would say 80%, honestly, the neighbors are airing that much of your friends. Everybody's just living, surviving, going to work. It's such a work-based society where everybody's working. It, it's just so much loneliness in this country, I would say. My first 1 year, 2 years, I used to think I was on holiday. I used to look forward to like going back home to Nigeria. I felt like I was on holiday. It didn't dawn on me for so many years that this is my new country, this is my new home. Also for the first 2 years, honestly, it didn't click, it didn't register that this can potentially be my new home, my new country. But now it's my home. Honestly, it's my country, it's my home. I love the United States so much. So, yeah. So, have you been able to achieve better financial stability since moving? Oh, wow. Yep, I have. Like I said previously, I do not know. Let's say, for example, I stayed back in Nigeria. Like, I don't know what I might be Dangote or $10 right now. If I'm being honest, I might be Dangote or $10. I don't know. I guess I'll never know if I stay back in Nigeria what I'll be right now. But have I been able to achieve better financial stability since I moved to the United States? Yes. It's been, within a couple of months, I was able to purchase my first car. Now, some people will hear that and take that and run with it and be like, oh, I'm going to make so much money within my first couple of months. No, it's not always like that. Maybe I was opportune to have a job that was paying me a good stipend, and I was able to save. And again, my rent was cheap. My rent was like $240. Where I went to school, things were cheap. It was like $240 per month. It was a town home. I shared it with my roommate, so I had one room, my roommate had another room. So it was like, I think our rent was like $280 or $500, something like that per month, and we split it into two. I was paying like $240 if I remember correctly. My roommate was paying the rest. So you need to consider that fact as well. Like, where I went to school was cheap, so I still had like enough money to like save to do other things that I wanted to do. So for some people it's not easy. For some people, they came by themselves. They don't have and they don't have an assistantship that will pay them a stipend. So after paying their school fees, they are so you know they don't have the money to save to say they want to buy themselves a car. I knew people that didn't have a car for so long, because not because they didn't want one, but because it was so hard for them to save the money. Some had the money, decided not to buy, but some it wasn't easy. So you always have to know that, like, we're not picking money on the floor in the United States. People struggle, and I would always say that people's struggles are different. My struggle is different from your struggle. How bad or good things will go for me is different from how bad or good things will go for you. So don't look at people. It's always good to be positive, I would say. It's always good to be positive, have a positive mindset, have the mindset that I'm going to make it where I'm going to. But for me, I would advise that always be frank, honest with yourself, that like, don't come with the mindset of like, I'm going to be picking money on the fly. I see a lot of people say that and think that way. It's like, oh, once I get to America, I don't blow. Once I get to America, I'm going to blow up. I'm going to have a lot of money. I'm going to be sending a lot of dollars on. It's not always like that. To be honest, it's not always like that. So I think my advice is for everyone to be self-aware and self-conscious of that. What advice would I give to someone planning to Japa? Kind of a lot of the things that I've shared already. Um, Make sure you make proper plans. Have some money with you before you come, no matter how little. Make sure you do have some money with you. What other advice would I give? Um, don't have the mindset of you're coming to pick money on the floor. Yeah, it's a wrong mindset to have. It's a wrong way to start. Don't have that mindset, please. What else? Wait, I think Michael Deskewe, one of the individuals that I interviewed, said this statement and was profound. If you do not have the money yet, do not come. Wait till you can save up a little bit more before you come. There's nothing wrong in just taking a step back and waiting. There's nothing wrong in doing that. Make sure you have money before you come. I've seen people just come because they feel like, oh, I just want to come, I just want to come, I just want to come. They come and it's very challenging. So wait, save up, and then come. A lot of people get stuck. They get here, they don't have money. Now they're scrambling from left to right to see like where can they get money, where can they see someone to take them in. And believe me, if you have someone take you in for a couple of months, they are nice if they take you in for 6 months without asking for a dime. They are nice if they take you in for 1 year. There are people who can do that, don't get me wrong, who will take you in without blinking for so many years as long as you want to live with them. But trust me, a lot of people would not, because an additional 1, 2 people in the home means additional bills to pay. More water bill, more gas bill, more everything. So they're gonna start asking you for your own share of the rent, your own share of the utility bills. So my advice would be come prepared. In this day and age with what's it called? Everything getting so expensive. Just come prepared. Don't come with the mindset of like somebody's gonna take care of you when you get here. Everybody works really hard here. Also know that like you're gonna have to work hard. This is a working society, a working economy. You're gonna work. You can't be a lazy man. You have to work because that's the only way you can pay your bills. That's the only way you can live. You have to work. Some people do 2 or 3 jobs just so that they can live and survive. So my advice would be come prepared. Do I have any plans to return home permanently, or is my future now tied to my home country? Do I have any plans? Honestly, I'll say no. I currently do not have any plan to return fully back home. I'm I'm a citizen of the United States, so this is my new home, my new country. Um, but yeah, would I move back sometime? I don't know. I don't know what, maybe when I'm 70, 80, I might decide to come just chill. But for sure, I would always like visit from time to time, always visit Nigeria. So yeah, I would say. Is Japa still relevant to 2025? Hmm. I mean, I don't know what to say to that question. I know a lot of people that I interviewed said yes, it is still relevant. Um, if is it still relevant? It is relevant. I feel like it would always be relevant for different purposes. You know your reason, and your reason is relevant. That's what I would say. Don't have the wrong reason. Have a good reason, and that's all it takes, right? So your reason is valid, your reason is relevant, and I guess that's how I would define it, or that's what I would say to that particular question. So yeah, that's my own, what Japa story. Not completely though. I just try to answer some of those questions that I asked other people. So um, I would say honestly that it has been fun for me. Do I miss Nigeria once in a while? Yes, I do miss Nigeria. I do miss the sense of community that is back home. Just having people or will check up on you from time to time, or wants, or it just looks after your well-being without you even asking. I remember back then when I was in Nigeria working. I'm coming back from work. Like I said, remember guys, I didn't have a car. So I get down from the bus. I take a bike to the, we call it junction, bus stop, my street, whatnot. And I take a bike down there. And I get down. I'm just, just even walking down the street to my house. Everybody's there. How was work today? This person's trying to stop you to say hi to you. The other person's trying to stop you to say hi, to ask you how was work, check up on you. They haven't heard from you in like a week. So it's really just that sense of community that I really do miss. The food as well. Oh gosh, don't get me started on the food. The fact that I can just walk into any restaurants, buka, it's everywhere. Nigerian food is everywhere. You literally have to drive for so long in order for you to like get Nigerian food. For those who live in like, I'll say Texas most especially, they have Nigerian food all over. Especially Dallas, I would say. Let me say Dallas. I've been to Dallas, I've been to Houston, I've been to a couple of Texas cities. But I'll say Dallas, Houston, there's a lot of Nigerian restaurants. So for sure, but like some other states, you might not even, where I went to school, there was no Nigerian restaurant. We didn't even have an African grocery store. We had to drive 4 hours to go get like Nigerian food stuff. So you can imagine how that was. We we have to rely on cooking our food. We can't just say we want to go to a restaurant to buy food. Even to buy the food that we're gonna make, the raw food we're gonna make, like the grocery, we have to drive hours upon hours. So quickly you will learn to find replacements for your food, for Nigerian food items from Walmart or whatnot. Like I said before, like yam. Quickly I learned to replace yam with potatoes, like sweet potatoes, even Irish potatoes. Like I fell in love with them, and this was something like I said earlier that like I would normally not like eat potatoes back home in Nigeria. Would I eat it when I see it? Yes, but it wasn't like my go-to for anything. It wasn't my go-to for anything. So yeah, quickly I found replacements, and that's kind of what this country brings. So yeah, lastly before I go, guys, I just wanted to say I really appreciate the love and support so far for my channel. I see the channel growing, and it just makes me happy. It just tells me like, you know it encourages me to keep doing this. It encourages me to keep doing this, and I'm excited for like everything. So I just want to say thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. If you're new on this channel, please do subscribe. Whatever you want to ask me about the United States, about traveling generally, even not just the United States, put it in the comment section, and I will definitely respond or make a video about it so I can elaborate more on it. Ask me any questions you want to ask me, guys. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to the channel so far and showing me all the love and support. So thank you, guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm getting to where my swimming lesson is, and maybe one of these days I'll make a swimming video and I'll show you guys how I'm doing. All right, cheers guys, bye.